Hi, I'm Gary White with Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television. I'm here at Marion County High School, and I'm here with 4 students who are taking part in a SHIELD project, which is something new that's going on here at the Marion County School System. Had the opportunity to talk with Superintendent Schlosser about the SHIELD projects and what's going on, but these 4 students are actually part of the group that are making the SHIELD project happen. So I'm going to first have them each introduce yourselves and tell us what year you are.
I'm Bennett Lucas. I'm a senior here at Marion County High School.
I'm Fernanda Reyes. I'm a senior as well.
Okay.
Mariella Curtis, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Seth Caldwell, and I'm a sophomore.
And for this group, there are about 15 students that are involved, right? Okay, and you are the only sophomore, I believe, right?
I'm one of two, yeah.
Two sophomores.
Two sophomores.
Okay, and then you said there are mostly the rest are seniors, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, tell us, what is the SHIELD project that you're working on? Who wants to tackle that?
I'll do it.
Okay.
So right now the SHIELD project is on mainly the food pantry, and the food pantry helps provide the students here in this district who may not have as much as they need and are in need of the food, and people donate to this pantry, and then they can go and get what they need and hopefully be helped out.
So the pantry is for all the families within the Marion County School System, but it's actually the pantry itself is at 21st Century Building, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the issue that you're addressing for the pantry? What needs to be looked at?
The issue is to really accommodate and expand further on the food pantry because we're both lacking resources and the storage for it. So.
Okay. So this group of students, you're meeting, and you've met how many times so far?
Twice so far.
Okay. And what have you been discussing during those meetings?
Just ways that we can stock it, or different ways that we can accommodate more food, because there's not a lot of space right now.
Do you have any idea about how many families have been utilizing the pantry thus far?
We're not quite sure how many, but we just know that so far 60% of the district is in poverty levels, and
oh, wow.
they all use it whenever they need to.
So it's something that a lot more could use.
Yes.
if there's a need out there,
yeah.
Obviously, right? Okay. So tell us, what were some of the different ideas that were discussed at the meetings to kind of resolve some of these issues?
Like they said, just make it bigger, add more food in, of course, and also just like stuff like toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff to get clean, because that's another thing that we're lacking in this district is cleanliness. And we want every child to be ready and comfortable to come to school every day. So
hygiene products, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when we're talking about getting more food, did you talk about reaching out to the community, or what were some of the ways that you could possibly generate some more food?
Ms. Schlosser had the idea that since we have like different clubs represented within our team, she suggested that we have club meetings once a month, and she wanted like everybody that's in a club to bring one item to their club meeting once a month, and she thinks that will give us enough items to make it through that month, and then the next month the same thing will happen.
Okay.
Kind of like our starter plan for it.
Right.
Until we can find something more long-term to keep it stocked.
Right. Okay, very good. Now, you mentioned something we want to talk about too. All the students here and all the 15 students who are involved are from various different groups throughout the whole school system, right? So why don't you tell us what group are you representing as part of your SHIELD project?
For representation, I'm of FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America.
Okay.
I'm representing Beta, and I'm actually the president of it. So.
Okay, very good.
I'm representing the Student Ambassadors Club we have here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also representing the Student Ambassadors.
Okay, very good. So we have various different groups that are involved. So have you had the opportunity to work with other members of your group in the past? Or is this kind of your first opportunity to work with this particular group of students?
I think this is our first time we've actually worked with the variety of kids. Like, we've worked together as our own group, but we've never put the groups together.
Aside from special projects like the organ donation thing or canned food drives, which usually is only 2 groups, but this is kind of all encompassing. It wants to be I guess you could say a program wide.
Yeah, we're trying to unify the whole school, really, just to bring all the kids together to make it student led, to make it grow.
That's great. So tell me, what have each of you learned so far from the experience being part of the SHIELD project?
I've realized that there's so much need in Marion County that we put in a bubble that we didn't know that there's 60% in poverty that we really need to help out, and how there's ways that we can do it as students.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's just a different perspective on who we live around and the area we live in, like how diverse it is, because I believe they told us there were 8 different languages spoken in just Lebanon alone, and that's kind of mind-blowing.
Yes, absolutely. So what have you been learning so far from your 2 meetings?
I think the main thing that opened my eyes was they also talked about the amount of homeless kids that we have in our district, and that was really hard for me to hear, because I guess I never realized that. So it was humbling to know that, I need to be grateful for what I have and that I can help other people, and that was probably the biggest thing I took from this whole project so far.
And when I did an interview with Ms. Schlosser not too long ago, when she was talking about homeless, it's not necessarily, you may not see somebody sleeping on the streets, but they may not have a home that they go to every day, so they don't actually have a particular home, correct?
Yes, I didn't understand that either until I went to this, because I'd never seen anybody on the street, so I didn't think, we had homeless people, but she explained that to me as well, so yeah.
And how about you, being one of the younger members of the group, right?
Well, like they said, just the amount of poverty, and mostly in our elementary schools is where it's mostly at, I think, because they said in Lebanon Elementary, I think, it is 80% poverty in that school, which is terrible. We need to do something about that, because no kid should be able to go home and not know what they're going to eat, or if they get to eat, they should have something to eat. I think you're right, as just a human being, and you want to get your education like everyone else, and you need food to be able to function and do that. And you learn a lot from them too, not just they learn stuff from us, but we learn stuff from them too, just how to be grateful and just be more caring and kind.
Very good lesson. That's great. So tell us, what's the process now? You've had 2 meetings. What's the ongoing process now for it?
The steps now are to see how we as students can fix that, how we can combine our efforts and see if we need help from the ATC and try to get carpenters down here, or if we just need to raise money and try to build it ourselves.
Yes, that was one other thing that I think she mentioned, was that some students were mentioning, I think somebody here may have mentioned need space or putting up walls, and you can utilize other students, right, from the ATC or what have you, that can actually possibly do that for you.
Yes, correct.
That's great. Do you have some more meetings scheduled?
It's usually whenever we get called for it. It hasn't been anything like set scheduled yet, but I think she definitely wants to do more coming soon.
Absolutely. And we'll keep you up to date on the process and how it's all going to go, and how people can, hopefully, maybe we'll have some community members who can help with filling up the pantry too, right?
Yes, that would be great. We would love to have the community help us as well.
Was there any talk about ways to reach out for that yet?
I'm not sure if we talked about getting any community in it, but I think that would be a good next step to try to involve them as well.
Because it's just getting started. So the pantry, tell us again where it's located.
21st Century, right behind Center Square.
And is it open all the time, or do you know how people can utilize the facility?
I think it's all day long until like 5 o'clock, I think is what they is, because I know they have special students come in the afternoons and get tutoring and help and everything.
Okay, great. And again, these are for the students who are involved with the SHIELD project, which is a new thing they're trying here at Marion County Schools. And thank you very much. Sounds like a great project.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been Gary White for Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television.